Hey everyone, it's Casey. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing kind of a book talk about A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle. Um, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I really struggled to get through this book. It took me, I started reading it at Booktubeathon, which was the end of July, and I just finished it a couple weeks ago. So it was like the end of August when I finally finished it. And I think struggling is maybe not the right word. So if you're not familiar with my channel, I went into this book, which is like a classic, completely like blind. Like I had no idea whatsoever what this book was about. And I think that's why I had a little bit of trouble with it. I'm not one of those people that likes to not know anything about books. I kind of like to know the general outline of where the story is leading to. And so I think that's why I really struggled with this book. But we'll talk about that later. So if you're not familiar with A Wrinkle in Time, it is about these three girls, not girls, three kids. The main character is a girl. Her name is Meg. And then it also follows her brother, Charles Wallace, and then their friend, Calvin. And so Meg and Calvin are like 13 or 14, and Charles Wallace is maybe like 6 or 7, but he is like super ridiculously smart. He talks like a professor. Before the book even starts, their father, Meg and Charles Wallace's father, goes missing, and he's been gone for like a year. And so they go to kind of find him with Calvin, and they're introduced to these like three like women, I guess, like figures. There's Mrs. Who, Mrs. What's It, and then Mrs. Which is like Which, like the English word. And so it has a lot to do with space and time traveling, but not time traveling how we probably think of it, where it's like going back in time. I guess this is like traveling through like time to get to other planets. This book was published in 1963, I believe. I have the 50th anniversary edition, and there's a lot of extra material in it since it's the 50th anniversary, and so it talks a lot about like how Madeleine really struggled to kind of get this published, because it is a super weird book, especially for 1963. It is a children's book, but it does not like read like a child's book. Like it does not dumb down any of the like language. A good example of the language not being dumbed down is like this. This is where they're kind of explaining like their concept of like how to get through time. And here's the page before. So there's like even like graphics when the three motherly figures, the Mrs. characters, are like explaining to the children about traveling through time. Like that's kind of like a heavy thing for like a children's book. So I do like that about this book. I have mixed feelings about this book. I did enjoy it, but it's one of those things where as I was reading it, I liked it, but as soon as I came to the end of a chapter, I had no desire whatsoever to go on. And like I said at the beginning, I don't know if that's because I had no idea where the story was going, or I'm not really into sci-fi books, and this is definitely like a science fiction book. So if that was it too, like, because I did overall enjoy it. I'm glad I've read it. They're making this into a movie. It comes out in March of 2018. It's like Oprah, Reese Witherspoon, and Mindy Kaling play the three motherly figures, the Mrs. characters, and Chris Pine plays the dad, which is totally why I read it, because he's in it. And then I forget who the other people are. But, so I'm definitely going to watch it. And I'm definitely glad that I read this before I saw the movie. But yeah, I think if I would have read it as a kid, I would have really liked it. And I also think if I would have read it as a kid, that it may have made me a more open minded reader, and maybe now I would like science fiction, or like other genres besides contemporary. It's definitely something. I have a 12-year-old sister, and I'm definitely going to encourage her to read this, because she only reads contemporaries now, and I think this would be a really good book for her to read to kind of experience other genres, and also read at at a literary level beyond what normal children's or YA books are at, because like I said, it doesn't dumb it down for kids at all. I mean, the language, it's kind of like she does use hard language, but it's more like the language is simple, but the concepts are kind of more complicated. So I don't think that a 12, her being 12, or even a 10-year-old would have trouble, with the language. They would definitely be able to read it. It's just the concepts that would make them think. This is a thinking book. I'm, like I said, I'm really glad I read it. I would definitely recommend it for children, for adults that didn't read it. I never had to read it in school because I went to public school, so we didn't have to read crap. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever read it and what your thoughts were. Did you find it as weird as I did? It's weird, but I liked it. Okay, thanks. Bye.